What's going on, guys, and welcome back. Jagex has just dropped the fourth last reveal for Leagues 5 here. It's called Relic Passives. This is massive for planning your league and understanding how the league goes. If this is your first league, this is going to help you out a ton. We've been doing some planning on my end, on my streams, for what I want to do. This is my rough plan here, which I need to edit now on stream because of these changes. These relic passives are basically going to be unlocked every time you unlock a new relic in the league. You will gain some new passives which stack on top of your previous relic, so you never lose anything. They just get a whole lot stronger. And to be honest, the changes they've made in this league compared to previous leagues on this chart here are insane. They're really good, and it really does tighten the gap of everything when it comes to the league. It makes it feel a lot more linear, and you're progressing a lot faster. You don't feel like you're dragging your feet around the midpoint through your tiers. So there's no video for us, but there is a nice beautiful chart here for us to look at, starting with tier 1. So as soon as you start the raid, you're going to start in the league, you're going to start in tier 1 with a 5 times XP multiplier, which is huge. That's standard, and all drops from eligible sources will be 2 times as common. If you don't know what the drops are specifically, there is a list on the wiki. If you just go like RuneScape League or Oldschool Runescape League drops, you'll get a drop chart of every region and what is dropped in those regions with this XP rate. Basically, the increased drop rate. It's basically every sort of unique from a boss is going to be twice as common in tier 1. Here highlighted in blue, we have farming ticks will occur every minute instead of every 5 minutes. So there was a rumor going around saying that farming was 4 times as fast. Everyone's going to have farming 5 times as fast instead, which is massive, which makes sense why Overgrown didn't have any mention about instant farming growing like we did last year. Everyone's just going to have 5x farming instead, which helps people, I guess, with their farming regardless now of gender. Minigame points received are boosted by 4 times, which is awesome. And over here in the modifiers, quickly, it's worth mentioning that also includes Marks of the Grace, Hallowed Marks, Brimhaven Vouchers, and Stardust, which from Shooting Stars. So that's something to consider when you're looking at the utility relics that were released yesterday. I don't think the agility relic was very popular anyway. That might help people feel more confident in not choosing that. Run energy will never be drained while running, which is a league standard. Everyone has unlimited run. Your run energy will still be drained, however, in instances where run energy is taken from you. So when you're fighting Venenatus or Spindle and they shoot the web on the floor in the wilderness, if you step on that web, it will still drain your run energy and you can run out of run. So just keep that in mind. It just means while you're running, you don't lose run energy. And then you've got all clue scrolls will drop as stackable scroll boxes, and clue step progress is saved between clues. Basically just makes clue scrolls super convenient and easy to do. And given the clue scroll teleport relic and that clue scroll buff there, I think we have another clue scroll relic coming this league to help with the drop rates and the clue consistency even further. So keep an eye out for that relic. It's just a matter of where or which tier that relic's going to be in. There are 7 tiers of relics this league. Last league we had 8 relics, 8 tiers, sorry, but the 8th tier was a surprise. I don't know if they're going to surprise us with an 8th tier this year. Probably not, considering we're not getting multiple combat relics this time, but who knows. When you unlock your 2nd tier, which is likely only going to be about 500 points, your XP multiplier will go from 5 to 8. That's it. Pretty standard. That's normal. Going to tier 3, which I predict will be when you also get Banker's Note or your Total Recall. This is probably about 1200 league points roughly. All combat XP, including hit points of prayer, is going to be 2 times on top of your current multiplier. So 8 times for everything, 16 times for combat, which is massive for my plans, because I was going to do like the quiz, the XP lamps after Shield of Arrow for prayer XP, but waiting for tier 3, it will be even better. So now I've got to change my early game plan around a little bit here, but that's just something you kind of want to hold on to, because 16 times XP in prayer from XP sources is ridiculous for everyone involved. The bigger and better Slayer unlock is free, so if you unlock it prior to that, you will get refunded, but just don't touch it till you get to tier 3. Slayer points are 5 times from tasks, and you aren't required to complete 5 tasks before earning points, so you can start getting points straight away as soon as you hit tier 3. So maybe it's best to start touching Slayer at tier 3, and superior Slayers will be 4 times more common than the main game. Absolutely enormous for everyone involved. Then you get to tier 4. This will probably take you about 2,000-3,000 points, I reckon. All item sources are immediately 5x. Now, in previous leagues, this is massive for tier 4. In previous leagues, you start with 2x, then you go 3, 4, then 5, and it would be like 3x in tier 3, 4x in tier 5, and then it was 5x in tier 8. Now they're just giving us 5x in tier 4 straight up. This is insane. All item sources in 2x to 5x, there's no 3 and 4. There's no stretching out 8 tiers. You can start getting big drops really early in the league. I fucking love that. And then the minigame points received are boosted by 8. So you'll get 8 marks of the grace per rooftop, or 16 if you do the agility boots. So I reckon tier 4 might be the utility tier. That's just my opinion. You're going to have tier 1, we know tier 1. I'd say tier 2 is teleports, tier 3 recall, banker's note, tier 4 utility, tier 5 will be probably the overgrown or Grimoire release, who knows. But that's when your league's XP multiplier goes from 8x to 12x, which is big, which means combat goes to 24x, which is just an insane amount of combat XP. You're probably going to be close to maxing by then. You don't get anything for tier 6. Don't know why not. I guess because they gave all the drop XP out earlier, they don't have anything else to give us. A little bit surprising that there's nothing for tier 6, but you get a new relic. And that's probably where Golden God might be sitting. Could be wrong on that. Golden God could be 5, and then Grimoire could be 6. Then you got tier 7, which I think will be some sort of combat relic boost with involving special attacks, or maybe bolt procking with ranged, or something to do with magic. Who knows? You'll have 3 options likely anyway. And then League's XP multiplier will go from 12x to 16x. So every piece of XP you get will be 16x. But combat at that point will be 32x, so you can really go for those 50 mil and 200 mil tasks and get some really big points there. Other changes is just worth noting. We looked at the minigame modifier. Drop rate multiplier now also works with your kits from Tob and Cox, so your Twisted Ancestral kits, your Holy kits, your Sanguine kits, and Awakener's Orbs as well from Desert Treasure bosses. So you're going to be getting those a lot. And then clue scrolls, every clue scroll you receive, including clue, geo clues in bottle and clue nest, will drop as a stackable clue box, which is just a league standard that everyone gets now at tier 1. So that we knew that was coming, that was to be expected. We're just waiting for the possible clue relic now, which gives you your clue scrolls to be like in the shortest amount of steps possible. So for example, hards can only be 3 steps instead of 3 to 6, and increase rolls and increase chances in uniques. That's what they typically bring out in leagues. Would love to see that make a return, but who knows, they might switch it up this year. Most of the relics have been buffed this year and changed up from last year, and these relic passives are honestly amazing, and they've been fine-tuned really well compared to previous leagues. It just makes for the league to have a lot more of a compact and fast progression without it being too in your face. The fact that there's no tier 6 is actually probably a nice break for the amount of insane XP and drop rates you're getting earlier compared to other leagues. But this is really, honestly, this is awesome for my plans for trying to get an Inferno Cape on day 1 in a 24-hour period. I'm really looking forward to utilizing that, especially the combat experience multiplier, because you got to remember, level 100 combat gives you a new combat mastery point, which means tier 3 is really going to turbocharge that shit for you, and it's going to help you with progressing to the fight caves as well. There's nothing really that isn't mentioned down here, and then there's the previous rewards. So that's it today for the relic passives. It might seem a little less exciting than seeing new relics, and there's no video tied to it, but really, this is for the entirety of the league, and this is really just a massive buff overall. So big W by Jagex. Really happy about that. It hasn't fucked my plans up this time, thankfully. It's just made my plans easier, I think. Well, kind of, actually. Now I don't know, because now I've got to find... we need to see the task list, which I don't think we see the task list until like the day of leagues. And then we've got to plan out what we're going to do to kind of help unlock our first 3 tiers. We need to get to tier 3 pretty quick. We might get the starter area task list, like General, Mistalin, and Karamja. We might get that on one of these 3 days. That's my prediction. I think we'll get one more relic for compete with Overgrown and Grimoire, or we find out that Golden God's actually competing with them. Then I think they might do that. We've got one more tier still, because we have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, possible tier 5. So we still have to find tier 6 and tier 7 as well. And finish these tiers off. So shit, they got 3 more announcements still to go. They got to squeeze some shit out. The next 3 days are going to be pretty big, and they're going to be pretty game changing. So looking forward to that, but we'll be live for the next 3 days to go through those reveals with you guys and upload them on this channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are finding the league's content helpful. Appreciate the support. You guys are the best. Have a good night. the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge.